Oh boy.
Full power.
Good?
Good. Good.
So all back together again for the first time in almost 6 months. Wait, I don't want to know, start again.
It's running. It's running. Now they locked up both because it's getting steeper.
He's gonna break it before it was even road registered. Christian wants to start with all that mess now, and I don't really. It's Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. We made a mess out of our garden.
Oh, we're really close with this one. All I gotta do is put on some bumpers and some lights and some other small stuff, and then this thing is ready to get registered. So hopefully this thing is gonna be done by the end of this episode.
So, final day. Hope so, at least. All we have to do is install all the stuff that's left in the truck. And that is actually a lot.
So this is the most asked question in Facebook groups from new owners of a Discovery. Hey, what's that pipe in the front? It's smoking. That's your fuel burning heater, okay? And it does smoke. That's the purpose of it. She stopped filming, okay? Just because I said something not nice in her world. And the fuel burning heater assists the heat up of the engine if it's less than 4 degrees centigrade outside.
And you find all that information in your handbook.
Yes, if you read it, but no, you don't, okay? You're a man. Men don't read handbooks. They ask stupid questions in Facebook groups. That's much easier. Reading a handbook. I take that thing, throw it away on the first day. Look, she packaged all the bolts for me, so I don't confuse them and I don't lose them.
Yes.
You guys gotta look for your bolts. I don't, okay?
So that's a wish-wash fluid container.
Yes. What?
Throw away the pink stuff before you mount it. I don't want to have it in there.
We just gonna fill it with blue stuff, okay?
Yeah, but I'm afraid the pink stuff is coolant. I mean, the previous owner was kind of careless.
Yeah, he may have filled coolant into the wish-wash fluid
Yes,
container.
he may have.
We risk it.
Oh my.
A little bit of a hidden bolt here. Click, click.
So here's a 13mm socket.
That's nice of you. Click, click. Click, click. See, I don't even have to get my own sockets.
Yes, and I even know the difference between a 1/4 inch and 3/8. I also brought you...
Oh, see? See, stop bolt. And now it will go really smoothly. And you guys are watching me tightening a bolt.
But I know that there are granddaughters checking you.
Click, click.
Exactly.
Good. For the granddaughters. Can you look for the filler neck?
Last piece. Cool.
So just a bunch of connectors. Okay, actually like the maximum amount of connectors you can connect to a fluid tank.
Yeah, don't underestimate that because you can screw up majorly.
Look, and I was smart enough to label them.
Yes, because look at that, we have 3 green thingies.
Yeah, okay.
That is like...
This one couldn't be it, okay, because this one obviously is... So where does this one now go? Well, this one is green too, so it goes here.
Oh my God.
Well, we're gonna test this in a minute. This goes in here.
Minus 60 degrees, that is cold.
That's the front.
Oh, that is slow. No, nothing coming here. No, stop it. Peeing from up here. So there's definitely something wrong.
So on the rear, I think I just have to hit it a little longer.
Oh, that is a sorry little wiper plate. There's nothing coming. So he found another hose.
Yeah.
Without a green tie wrap.
So it must be this one here, because that was the green tie wrap which had no purpose. Okay. And, oh, there's a plug.
So nothing to nothing. That makes more sense than green to nothing. And we have wish-wash fluid. Yes.
Good, so we got this somewhat connected, right?
But now you have the ignition on.
Yeah.
You got to turn it off. Wheel arch, left-hand side. Oh boy, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, but it's time for this thing to go in. The TPMS monitoring. Let's try this side. There. And now we gotta connect this. See, green to green. I labeled everything perfectly.
What about that plug?
That's an option some people don't have. Okay, that's embarrassing. Maybe we don't have that option. Yeah, there you go. No, it's in. Very nice.
It doesn't fit.
It fits.
Oh, it fits.
Oh, and you got a click out of it. This is wheel arch going here.
Yeah.
And this is the light. Now we gotta look for these bolts, so you have to find the front bumper bolts. See, if you don't clean your stuff, you can clearly see the old imprint where the washer was. And this gets you your alignment back, okay? You can clearly see how it was aligned originally.
Yeah.
So, click, click. And that tells you nothing got bent in the meantime. And click, click. Click, click.
There are a bunch of them down here.
No, we have to run a tap in.
Yeah.
So I better run a tap through. That won't take long. Click,
Nice
click.
and smooth.
And the first wheel arch goes on. And that's always a huge milestone.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's all pins and everything is still good. And it's already on. And the rest is riveted.
Cool.
Don't forget this one in the wheel arch. That's where you see if you have Virgin Discovery, okay? Because everybody rips this one off. See, all we got left is plastic rivets, so we puzzle them in.
Yeah.
And we're done with this wheel arch. Oh no.
Here. And here.
Ooh. Yeah.
We don't have to take them off again.
First wheel arch is in. And I want to make sure this thing is not pinching the airlines in here. That is
Yes, please.
Okay, the second wheel arch goes in. And don't forget to plug in that sensor here.
The valve monitoring system.
Okay, it goes in at one point.
At one point, don't worry.
I heard them all click.
And the right hand side is also all done. Fender, wheel arch and that thingy.
And now comes the feature of a Discovery which makes Toyota drivers the most jealous. And the headlights go in. What a milestone, okay? Click. And then you set it in here, like this. Push this down and this down.
Yes, look at
I
that.
get the second one.
One-eyed.
And if you're not too stupid, the plug also fits. Click. Now we need a grill.
Yes. And that's when the Toyota drivers are jealous.
And this baby.
Look at that bad boy. We don't need no towing anytime soon.
So this thing, gotta go back on here. Before they go in, we need to put on a new liner here.
Yes, Christian got them. OEM.
These are original Land Rover because there's nothing else available in this size. Oh, I kinked it.
Hey, you want to clean?
Yeah, with my cleaning cloth, okay? This gotta go exactly to this notch here.
Yeah.
This is where it gotta sit, right here. There. The notch gotta be visible. Oh, this looks so beautiful.
Perfect.
Wheel arch liner goes back in. And this fits nicely right here.
Good. But Christian, and then I think we need to mount the filler neck first. I mean, all the stuff that goes
yeah, we
here
better mount that
before we
before we do the wheel
close
arch.
the wheel arch.
So,
Scrubbing the filler neck cover.
so this might be a little bit of a puzzling. I better remove this, that gives us a little more room.
Now.
Okay, now this goes in. And then these pieces, 4 pops.
Cool.
That was easy actually.
Yes.
So now we don't want to close it before the release mechanism is mounted. So you're not gonna lecture about it?
So, I just noticed that we forgot to plug in the AdBlue filler neck. But I found the problem. Because now we're installing the wheel arch and yeah, that would have been a debacle.
That would have been a big debacle.
And you?
Well, the cage nuts were completely rotten, so we insert some new ones here. Make this look pretty.
And back in it goes.
Good. And the last big piece goes on. Okay. Now this needs to be stretched a little bit to go on. Yeah, it's in. Don't break. Yeah, it's in.
Good.
Other side. Yeah, it's in. Couple of bolts and this is done.
Cool.
Klick, klick. Sehr vermutlich. Second wheel arch goes on.
I don't think the first one is in. Yeah, now.
Okay, here on the bumper we use brand new clips and I just push them in. And one more here.
And last one.
That's it.
Lights are missing. More cleaning. Shark fins. Cool. Now hurry up, my battery is empty. Oh no.
And you see we got 4 bolts now left over.
And do you know where they belong?
Yes, on the bumper underneath.
So the last bumper bolt goes in.
Yes. And we're missing a bolt on our trailer hitch.
Yes.
We gotta put that in before we go to the TÜV.
Yeah, or we take off the trailer hitch.
Yeah, it's tanklet locking cable gotta go in here.
Last piece. No, it's gonna come out here. And now push.
Yeah.
Good. Gen2 AdBlue.
What was the other thing with those 2 pieces for the radiator?
Yes.
We better put them in. See, this is all still loose here. We completely forgot those. Very well.
Good.
All covers and the rest goes on tomorrow.
Yes. We can register it tomorrow short term so we can take it to the TÜV.
Yes.
So I got license plate.
Temporary ones.
Temporary one. We need to go on a test drive to test if it's ready for the TÜV for all our German viewers.
We're not gonna get a scratch from our temporary license plate.
No.
There, and we'll mount this. So temporary license plates are valid for 6 days. This license plate was 33 euros plus a registration fee, I think, of 15 euros. And now we can drive around only for the purpose of acquiring a valid MOT for this car. So we're not allowed to go on to vacation and stuff like this. It is only to be used in conjunction with getting the TÜV, okay?
We need to test the brakes and stuff like that.
And I think I need to color this white, otherwise my license plate is not mounted according to spec and I could get a ticket. Oh, look at that. It says Land Rover and Range Rover on here.
Yes.
What a nice license plate mount. So everything is ready. I already checked that the lights work and other basic stuff. And I also put the correct air pressure in the tires.
It was way too much.
They had more than 3, so no wonder we got stuck in our property on a little bit of mud.
Looking so good. He's actually doing that.
This is important, okay? You can fail your MOT if your license plate is not mounted according to spec. I'm always one bit more German than everybody else. And I got no sense of humor. So did you notice that I cleaned in here at least
smell
a little
it.
bit? So we're road legal now to go on a test drive.
Okay.
It's leaving our gate now after 5 or 6 months for the first time. We're gonna get rid of that tow hitch.
Oh, you can see it here. Yeah, we don't need that.
And where are we going when you have a new car?
to the gas station.
That's it. So right now we're driving with the original adaptation values, even though we did an oil change on the 8 HP. But I did not want to reset this and have erratic shifting right away. So we're gonna go get gas, and after that we're gonna reset the adaptation.
Yes, they are so cute.
And this thing was only driven in Bavaria. I checked in the GPS, they never deleted them. And the only fault we got is it's missing gas.
We put in 18 liters and he didn't even notice.
The steering wheel is somewhat straight, if the road is straight, and it has aftermarket front lower suspension arms in it, I think milder. Okay, so let's go get gas here.
Yes.
So we're gonna fill about 25 liters, that puts us above 50, and I would say that's good enough for the gas gauge to work.
Yes.
Diesel gauge.
Fuel gauge. Oh, look at that. I actually have a car now again.
Yeah, we're gonna take this thing off.
Yeah, for the TÜV, because God knows what. And it's broken.
Let's quickly connect my phone here. And we're gonna delete all those previous owner phones. Okay, and we need AC. Oh, we don't have AC.
We don't have AC yet.
It did recognize the amount of diesel we put in, so that's good.
And übernehmen. Oh, it went back.
I got my gap tool hooked up, and the red line is the boost pressure, okay? So basically the intake air pressure. And what we want to see here now when we accelerate, that the boost pressure is increasing, and about at 2800 RPM, the second turbo stage is actuated, and we want to see this here. Here, now I give it RPM. Yeah, there's this dent, and that's the boost pressure actuator. Let's see, there's nobody behind us.
Oh,
Okay.
Floyd from.
That was 4000 RPM. No black smoke behind us. So that's looking good. I think everything works. It's shifting nicely. So you can drive it now.
That's awesome.
So we got some smoke here. Who knows what that is? Might be some sort of a fluid evaporating.
Hopefully.
I don't recognize a particular smell. But that's sometimes the case when you have a brand new engine and there's cleaner on there and a lot of oil and all that stuff evaporates now. So this is not nice. This might be coolant. So we're gonna have to check it out when we are home. So how is it driving?
It's awesome. It's really great.
The tires are quieter than on Prince Smallcrawl. Prince Charming has more charming tires. I'm looking for white smoke because it does look like we have a coolant leak and it's evaporating under the bonnet. Did you think it is?
Well, we kind of had a brake fluid spill, a major brake fluid spill.
That's true.
Yes.
And it went down to the one side, okay? It could be brake fluid evaporating. Because our stupid pressure bleeder had to go, okay? It deserved to fly into the corner. It was not my fault. With fluid in it.
We're cleaning up the mess. You know, I got gas.
And stuff like this is never in our videos. Missing symbol, not missing. Check. So this thing up here is the misting sensor, and that's the only remaining fault I got. I plugged in another old one I had, same problem, so I ordered one out of China.
From
because
AliExpress.
It's only 40 euros, and those guys make those sensors, okay? Land Rover wants 140. So the coolant temperature is stable. That's looking good. And it shifts like a new car. Or like every other Discovery 4 we had so far.
It's such a pretty boy, man.
Oh, you flying up here. Jeez. Yep, it's sometimes tight in Germany. So we got no clonking noises. Nope. Air suspension works. We already tested the transfer case. So everything is good except for that smoke.
And you can reset the adaptation values.
So right now there is no more smoke. Hopefully it was just the brake fluid spill we did.
And I knew what the problem was. You didn't know it.
Yes, I was all concerned I have to take the engine back apart. So we're going to give this baby its first car wash. In Germany, it's a problem to do car wash on your own property. Somebody can complain, even though it's legal where we live, but you don't want to deal with these kind of people, and it's much easier to wash it here. Whenever I do that and show a scene out of it in our videos, there will be some idiot in Germany complaining about it, telling me that this is not legal to do it, even so they don't know what is legal in my community. They don't know what happens with my wastewater and what my community actually permits and what not. And I got absolutely no sense of humor because I'm German. So this car ran on 5W30, but no longer. It's now 5W40 time, so let's get rid of this bad evidence. So cleaning the windshield with denatured alcohol at least once. No name. Who puts no name wiper blades on a Discovery? Only a Toyota driver would do that. Biodiesel my ass. Glue residue comes off with WD-40, just in case you don't know. Completely gone. How about that? Good. So apparently I caused a leak here, which I gotta fix. And I forgot to install that heat shield, so I have to lower the muffler down a bit. I thought we have 4. Oh, there's one more. I think that won't go in without a fight. Oh, come on. Still putting up a fight. Oh, there we go. Well, it helps to put it in the right way. Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. So all these flanges are actually here pretty nice and pretty clean, but I have a leak. I saw that because water was dribbling out here. So my idea is to use 2 gaskets instead of 1, okay? These are fine sheet metal gaskets. Let me know in the comments if you think this is the stupidest idea ever or if this has a chance to work, and we'll see in a few weeks. Good. Damn, drain plug is leaking. We'll see if it moves with 28 Newton meters. No. Oh no. On the last one. Bolts are the one thing which are cheap at Land Rover, or at least not expensive. Very well. Oh no, I forgot the bolt in the trailer hitch. Actually, I want to take that off. But I got the heat shield, the muffler seal, wiper blades, oh, the filter on the inside. And I may have still that leak in the brake caliper. I need to look at that. Didn't do any corrosion protection. Battery is all mounted. Fluids are all checked. Yeah, you got my microphone from inside here and it's really quiet. There's still a cover missing here on the compressor. Good. I gotta take that trailer hitch off because I'm afraid this thing is not registered in the papers and it could cause problems. Yeah, it's coming. The way these work is if you insert them, this pin here basically jumps out, and if you pull this lever and twist it, the pin moves back in, and this is supposed to latch in, and it's not doing that here on this one. Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. This bolt is in the way. Oh yeah, now it's out. Good. And if I hit it here, it snaps back. And luckily, the previous owner did not lose that key. I think this one you can load down with 250 kg, and the other one you can only load downwards with like 150 kg. That might be the reason. So if you know for sure, let me know in the comments. If this one would work in case I want to use it. Oh yeah. The one real big waste is if you got a spare wheel, which has absolutely full thread, and it's actually really old, like the original tire. Okay. Okay. On the Discovery 3, you could use the lug nut wrench, okay? So this thing, that was much better. Here you got to insert this hook and then put this on here. How stupid is that? You know, we had a Martin in our attic, and I installed these spikes here on all drain pipes from the gutter. I also installed this linear, you know, along all passages where he could jump up on the side of the house, and he's gone, okay? He left his nest up there in the winter time, and he's not coming back. Okay, take all these plates out here. This out for a moment. Gotta go for a moment. Let's take this piece of junk out. This is the stupidest piece in a 5-seater, okay? It's wasting all that valuable space here. You got these nice cubby holes here in any Discovery, but they're useless because there's a lid on them, okay? You can't really use them with one hand. They always close. Really stupid. So all you gotta do is this, and now you can use them. Perfect. Well, there's still a bit more work down here. Oh boy. What's underneath here? Ah, not too bad. So we're gonna have to put this thing back in until we build a slide-out drawer, like in our Discovery 3. That's the best thing for a 5-seater. Because you gain a lot of room under the slide-out drawer. These brackets go back in here. Now we gotta put these covers on here. So I got this all cleaned out, at least good enough for the TÜV. This will do it for now. I'm gonna have to borrow the wet carpet cleaner from my friend and use some chemical stuff. Just for now, get rid of that in-cabin air filter here.
I hope there's not rat's nest inside.
No, this is not as dirty. But it's dirty, okay? We'll put a new one in.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a new MAN here. The airflow marked here, and the airflow gotta go down.
Don't screw that up like on the Queen.
I never screwed that up. This piece. Yeah, there it is. Click. Last thing for today.
Good.
Now where everything is working, I'm gonna reset the adaptation values because we changed the transmission fluid.
Oh my God.
And done. Okay, continue. Service interval reset, okay. Because we certainly did all the service possible.
And it's certainly not going anywhere else for a service.
Yeah, and successful, okay. Reset service message, yes. So.
Okay, I'm gonna check the lights outside. Okay. Good. Perfect. Do the headlights again. The headlights clonk. Yes, and that one's turning here also. Now to the back. Yes. Perfect. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And the license plate?
No.
Oh, come on.
So, yes, they are working. No MOT without the license
Yeah, we
plate.
failed once before because of those.
But did you know that the headlights make a clunking noise?
Well, I know now.
Did you know that when you spray wish-wash fluids to the headlights, it's first one side and then the other? It's not, it doesn't go on both
It
the
goes
same
one
time?
after another?
Yes, I mean after a short interval, but it goes first right and then left. So that didn't last long. It's already broken.
Yeah, maybe it's only when it's cold. So the xenon lights are no longer any good here. They really suck. Ooh, that was a new one.
It was a new one, it's the only one. Yes, success.
So,
yeah, but you gotta order new bulbs.
yeah, so I'm gonna order like 2 dozens.
Yes. Okay, let's check it again. Yes.
I gotta fix this before the door card breaks, okay? I hear the bolt rattling inside.
Oh my God.
Okay. Thread is still good? Yeah, that's nice.
What did they do in there?
Well, it loosened over the 10 years. I'll clean up these corners here a little bit. Good.
But everything pops so well on a Land Rover.
Yeah, it pops off.
Oh, he has already got an LR time sticker. How cool is that?
So off we go to see if this thing can get MOT. First attempt didn't work out. Emission values are too high. He instructed me to go onto the Autobahn and do what Germans do, drive 200. Because right now the car only has 45 kilometers and he thinks it's maybe contaminated from all the assembly oil and stuff. So I'll do that after my lunch break and see the guy again. It didn't pass MOT.
Oh no.
And the guy instructed me to go onto the Autobahn and floor it a little bit. And in the meantime, I want you to get me the gap tool registration number from Patrick. That's in my gray book. Okay, I gotta go to work now. I'm late. Talk to you later. So I did about 40 kilometers now on the Autobahn and I pushed it to 160 and the car drives absolutely perfect. And we're gonna see now if the number of particles reduced and if I'm gonna get MOT. But my colleague who sits next to me worked like 15 years in the diesel department at GM. Okay, what does he know? And he said there's absolutely no chance that this is gonna improve. He said it got destroyed by the melted piston of this engine. So he says I'm gonna need a new filter.
Okay, guys, we're doing the most stupid thing we have ever done. Just about the dumbest thing we have ever done.
I think it's on a dumb scale from 1 being, smart as a Toyota driver and 10 being dumb as a driver. We are at least on a 12 right now.
You're not gonna believe what the TÜV guy said and why our Prince Charming failed.
This is the exhaust side of the DPF. And you can see there are 2 stains here and it looks burned up. You agree?
Yes.
It looks like a melted piston went through.
Yes.
This unit is 5,400 euros from Land Rover. So we're gonna have to find one in Latvia or somewhere where these cars get completely legally imported and taken apart. And hopefully we have to spend only like 1,500 euros or something like that. In the meantime, we have a bigger problem. Prince Charming needs to pass MOT because we have only a temporary license plate and it's a lot of hassle to renew that license plate just to go to the TÜV. So we just simply went ahead and did something completely stupid.
So that is our debacle here. We've got 2 exhausts lying around here. And actually right now, 2 dead Discovery 4s and the dead Discovery 3.
So
this one is dead because the exhaust is lying here. Prince Charming is dead because the exhaust is lying here, and the Discovery 3 is dead anyway. And we are here on our own without a queen and without my Discovery 3.
So we took the entire exhaust out of Prince Mallcrawl. That's this one here. And that one is now going to go into Prince Charming to see if we pass MOT. If we pass MOT, we know it's the DPF and we know what part to get and to replace. Prince Mallcrawl has TÜV for another year, so we are okay there. We just have to find a replacement part for it. I know all the desktop mechanics now start typing and type in DPF Discovery 4. You won't find this one. This is an EU6. It looks here completely different. It has the catalytic converter combined with the DPF, and it's a completely different ball game. 5,400 euros is this unit from Land Rover new, and a used one is probably in the range of 1,500 euros. So if you have one available out of a crash vehicle, or you have one from another legally disassembled vehicle out of Latvia, we would love to buy this unit. If it's a good one, we pay you 1,500 euros for it. Okay?
It has to be EU6. Don't send me an email. Well, I've got one for 300 euros. It's not an EU6 DPF.
That's it, okay? It needs to look like that. It has both banks connected to the DPF, and it has this pipe here on the end. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sensors to it, okay? Just to make sure that there's no emissions coming out. An EU6 is measured differently for emissions in Germany. They basically count the particles going through, and the limit is 250,000. This vehicle had 600,000. If these are functioning, the level is 5,000, okay? That's how good these work. In some EU countries, they do not measure the particles, okay? They just measure the fogging, like they did in the past. This is no longer the case in Germany, because if there is a new rule, the Germans are the first one to adapt to it. And they got no sense of humor.
And I think in the Netherlands, it's also measured the same way.
Yeah, I think so. There are multiple European countries who adapted to this EU regulation, but not all of them. But we are in one of them, which have to pass now a particle count, okay? How stupid is that?
I know we have several TÜV and MOT inspectors in our viewers, so maybe you guys can confirm what Christian said here.
But please correct it with true statements and not speculations, because otherwise other people read it and then they have a wrong idea. Now, taking this baby out is quite a hassle. You have to take the fuel tank down, to take the cross member out, to remove the front drive shaft in order to access these 3 bolts here on the manifold. You have to disconnect a whole lot of pipes and hoses and muffler clamps and then lift the thing out. It basically took 2.5 hours the first time and about 1.5 hours for the second one.
Yes, and of course it's much harder if you don't have somebody like me helping.
The other thing what made this at all possible is that both vehicles were rebuilt less than 1.5 years ago. If you're trying to open these here on an old vehicle, which is 10 years old, that could be really dangerous. And if you snap one of these, it's probably a partial body off, at least to drill them back out in the manifold from the turbocharger. Yeah. I got to go to work now. then we're gonna put it back in, and then we're gonna try another run to the MOT station.
Oh my God.
So this is the replacement DPF out of our Prince Small Crawl, and it does not have those spots like the other one, okay? It looks definitely cleaner. So this thing goes back in, and of course we install a brand new gasket here. We always have stuff like this on stock. So I have to fit this thing alone. The third bolt can be reached through the wheel arch here. See that? Oh. I'm wearing a helmet, I'm okay.
I'm too small.
Goes on here. Okay, it's on. Hold it. Okay, now you gotta go into the back. This gotta be close.
Come on, old man strength.
There it's in.
It's in?
Yeah, it's almost in.
So there it's in. Good.
And there.
Yeah. Good.
And it's already in there.
Good. The last one is also in.
Gotta go back in here.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything gets squeezed well. So we got the new exhaust system installed. It's been a long day. I tell you that.
See if we're gonna collect any fault. It doesn't log a fault, so we're gonna go on a test drive now.
Okay, go on our first test drive with the new DPF.
So this is now the third attempt, and today I had to pay again for the emissions test, and it's another 45 euros. So I already spent 168 for the first attempt and it didn't work, and now we'll see if it works today. So this worked. It got MOT. Here you see the number of particles before fixing the DPF and here after, okay? So it went from 387,000 to 1,800, okay? That's cleaner than an electrical vehicle. But this whole incident did shed a little bit of a different light on these EU6 vehicles, okay? I was really after one of those, even though in my city I don't really need it. I thought it just has a better resale value and so on. But now, after knowing that the particle filter is more than 5 grand new, on an EU5 Discovery 4, you can get a particle filter like for 300, 400 euros. Now that's a big hit if this particle filter goes bad. So it changed a little bit my mind if it really makes sense to drive one of these. You do not save anything on the taxes in Germany, okay? And as usual, the last step after a few days is to refill the AC. And hopefully that's working okay and we're not having any leak down the road. That sucks. Here's the vacuum and we gotta make sure it's holding the vacuum. And the compressor oil goes in. 40 cubic centimeters for replacing the condenser. And now the R134A goes in.
So I'm here in my beautiful Prince Charming. I got my license plate. Guess what? Dirt 444 was free. They kind of messed up the rear plate.
You know what the TÜV inspector said? You must be an accurate person. And I said, why? Because you painted the bolts of a temporary license plate. So he recognized it, okay? That's the license plate where I got, okay?
Yes, it was finally available.
Yeah, that was blocked for the last 4 or 5 years. We always been checking on it and we couldn't get the 444. So we have now the 404, the 44, the 440 and the 444.
There are no more combinations.
All of those are dirt.
Yes.
Okay? Normally, this belongs here into the center and these belong this way. They never go next to each other. And the secret is that I always use Velcro to put these on, okay? But if somebody steals them, I know it was one of you. Okay? Because I don't like the holes in there. And also the second trick is that the license plate is exactly the same width as the Discovery sign down here, okay?
Wow.
So you gotta make sure you put that on just about here.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah?
I have a fuel canister here and we have to get petrol because Christian poured diesel into our lawnmower.
You were not supposed to say that. okay? It smelled like petrol, so somebody had petrol in the canister before.
Yeah, only Christian deals with the canisters, I can tell you that.
That's all out of context, okay? We're many people in this family. But
No.
our little Briggs & Stratton is absolutely robust. All I had to do was siphon the diesel back out, let the fuel pump run a little bit, put gasoline in it, and it ran again. It looks beautiful.
Yes, it looks awesome. Philip's getaway car will get the Dirt 5.7.
The Dirt 5.7 is from my Challenger 5.7 liter RT, okay?
Yes, the Challenger had it, our Aprilia had it, and the Queen had it. It will be awesome on a getaway car. Though that's gonna take forever. Ah, look how smooth that goes. Oh, nice. Now he uses acetone.
Yeah, with some thick cloths, and I don't want to get it onto the plastic, okay? That's why I have to do that and not Vera, even if she says, can I do that?
Oh my god.
Okay, so this green sticker is required to enter certain areas, including the city in Germany, and I don't want to put it too far down, so it comes off later on, like this.
Yes.
See, it must carry the license plate number on it, even so it's the same sticker as before. Stupid things like this are only in Germany.
Yeah.
And of course it costs money, and your vehicle must be at least an EU4 to get that sticker. But if you have now an EU6 like this vehicle, there is no sticker for it, okay?
Yeah, that sucks.
Okay, there we go. Registration completed.
Yes. It doesn't look that nice.
What doesn't look nice?
Yeah, he has to rub it for...
There is... I'm done now.
Okay. So he's gonna pop the hood for the most important sticker.
Use some acetone because it's...
On the plastic.
Yeah, that's okay on this plastic. This vehicle, now being completely registered and TÜV and everything, deserves our sticker. Okay, there we go.
Yes. He didn't get me the 26 euro OEM lock nuts like he did on the Queen.
Well, I couldn't find the part number from Land Rover. Okay.
No, I had to take the cheap Chinese again.
Okay, so we're gonna get rid of the security lock nuts. So they are not required, and at one point they will fail.
Yeah,
And
just
yes,
imagine I have a flat.
Yes, and I did buy the cheap Amazon lock nuts.
I
Click,
bet
click.
I find it. That's not 140. Do it 140.
That was click 100.
No, that was... Look at that thing. It's nasty and old and completely busted. The probability that that one will fail is much bigger than my wheel getting stolen.
Usually they fail because people don't stick the socket on deep enough, and then they use a Uga-Duga.
Yes, and men should know how to stick something deep enough.
Yeah, this is... I have to cut that out now.
All four are out. And the last one is torqued half as
Click,
properly.
click. Okay, and because you told everyone today that I filled diesel into my lawnmower, I'm gonna tell everyone what you did today. Vera wanted to fill it up for the first time, and she was not able to defeat the misfueling device. Okay. There are two different kind of misfueling devices in the tanks of the Discovery 4. An active one and a passive one. If you have an active one, it clicks in and you actually need a tool to release it. If you have a passive one, like this one, on the later Discovery 4 EU6, it is just like a little lid, and this lid closes up and it spring releases. See if I stick something in? And if this one actuates, all you gotta do is actually put the correct diesel nozzle in, nice and straight, and it will open automatically.
It did not, and I put in the correct diesel nozzle.
It latched in, okay? And once it's latched in, you have to wiggle that diesel nozzle in a specific angle to release it. And men are able to wiggle something into a hole in a specific angle to release it. So what I did is I stuck my two fingers in and I rattled it up and down, and then it opened up.
Yeah.
It's as easy as... I'm not
Christian.
lying. If you have a Discovery 4 EU6 with the passive misfueling device, you have to use the emergency funnel which comes with the vehicle to fill in your diesel canister. And I didn't do that. I used this thing because we do not have one. So I have to get a emergency funnel for this vehicle. Okay?
Oh my God,
So
stuff I don't need to know.
that was my lecture about the misfueling device. Now we can go and fill it up. Okay, so did you go through the checklist?
What checklist?
Missing symbol not missing? Check.
It's all his fault that it didn't work when I went to the gas station.
So this completes our video series on our new Prince Charming, which we bought about 5 months ago with a failed engine, and we fixed it since then, and now it got TÜV, it's registered, and we can drive around with it. And I'm sure you want to know now how much this repair did cost us. And right now, without a new diesel particle filter, we are about at 5,800 euros, okay?
Really, that much?
Yes. So if you think you can buy one of these dead and you can fix them for cheap, it ain't gonna work. It might work on a Discovery 3 or on a Discovery 4 Gen 1, but if you got a Gen 2, it's gonna get expensive. We installed a new block from a Jaguar and a new crankshaft from eBay, OEM, for 1,050 euros. So those parts were even good priced, okay? It can get a lot more expensive. The last one, our black Prince Small Crawl over there, took exactly 10 grand to fix. That was the most expensive one, and we did everything ourselves. Now, the advantage is now that we know exactly in what condition this car is, and we know exactly which parts are new and whatnot. And the engine is not a exchange engine, it's a rebuilt engine from us, which has one advantage. If it fails,
we know who screwed it up.
Exactly, that's worth a lot of money. And the price includes new brakes on the front, which I already bought, but we have not installed them. And also new shoes for the back, which we have not installed yet. So this completes our video this week. I hope you enjoyed this series, and at this point we want to thank our Patreons a lot for their support, and
we'll see you next Sunday. Most likely with a body-off video from our getaway car.
Okay, I'm done. Do you want to continue lecturing?
Yes, we still have to argue who drives whom now. As long as Philip is driving my Discovery 3, I want to drive that one.
You can drive this one. I drive my Prince Small Crawler.
Yes, because I don't want to drive.
So look at this beautiful area we live in. You can actually see our house from here. It's right there. There's the roof. What high-tech feature do you have?
Magnetic hose.
Jeez. So here we are at the Rodenstein Castle. Not much left from it.
So it's a bank holiday, that's what you call it, you know?
So the reason these castles are all ruins is because people used them as a stone yard after they got abandoned. Here's the old courtyard, even an old fountain there. Distance and altitude?
So 24 kilometers and only 540 meters of elevation gain.
Okay, but that's why I survived, so it's good.
Yesterday I had 600.